Hello my scrappy friends and welcome to my channel again today. Today I have another share for you for Anna's Craft Cupboard using the very awesome Legendary Collection by Coco Vanilla Studio. This is the page that I have created and I had a lot of fun with this one. So I'm going to show you here the photo that I'm scrapbooking. This is my older boy. The photo is a couple of years old at his last day at the language development school that he went to. And it was not a massive moment in his schooling, but it was a pretty big moment in his schooling as well, if that makes any sense. What I have done here is I have picked 5 different pattern papers and I have used my Cameo to cut stars in smaller sizes. I can't remember the name of the word that I'm thinking of. But you can see this big one here I have used the 12 by 12 paper for, and because I didn't want to cut into too many of the 12 by 12 papers, I have managed to cut the rest from papers in the 6 by 8 paper stack. That white one you can see is missing a corner, but I knew when I was designing this page that I would be putting my photo over one of the corners of the star, so I was quite happy to have it missing that corner. I have put each star through my sewing machine with some white thread. I've left the threads long and they are still currently long. I think I like them. So we'll see. I'm sticking these down so that those loose threads are all on a different side on these stars. And you can see I didn't leave a very big border between those 2 big stars. Now I couldn't just go ahead and use the whole star that you wouldn't see, right? Not of that beautiful wood grain. So I did cut the center out using my Cameo. I have stuck all of my stars together, and for those big ones at the back I've just taped them down because the wet glue wasn't doing a very good job. There just wasn't quite enough room with the hand stitching and the paper. Just getting my placement here. I'm using texture white cardstock. I have not done anything to this cardstock at all, but I am going to do mixed media on it. Now you can see here that I have got the outside edges of this pattern paper. Again, I've used my Cameo to cut that border so that I wasn't losing all of that pattern paper. What can I say? I love it. So I really liked the way that the visual weight was balanced with the wood grain star to the top left and then the wood grain to the bottom right of the page. So that's how I'm going to end up sticking it all together, but I am going to work on my white cardstock background by itself before I do anything else. So I'm going to use the packaging technique, I think. Yes, I used the packaging technique. I did leave this little bit in for you. I wanted to test colours and find which colours matched best. So you can see I'm just playing with colours there. I've picked out the colours that I'm going to use, and the colours I ended up using, so this one is Twisted Citron. Now, I don't know if it's just my ink pad or not, but if you have Twisted Citron, do you find that it looks quite yellow when you use it in this way or when you add it and add water? I find it goes quite yellow. It's still like a green yellow, but it's not lime green, which is what I expected it to be. So I am going to go in with this. I'm going to work in sections. You do see me do this. I do come back in eventually with a green spray as well, just to add a bit more green. But you can see I'm just adding my colour. I have marked out on that white cardstock where the corners of my star are, so that I'm not wasting too much time adding colour where I don't want it, but I do add colour everywhere because it's me. Now I can't remember what order I used these blues in, but I have used Stormy Sky, Faded Jeans, and then I've used Hickory Smoke as well, which is a grey. I'm pretty sure this one that I'm using right now is Stormy Sky because it's that blue grey. So I'm just adding some of that with the packaging, spritzing it with some water, getting the colour to move a little bit with the paintbrush. I did leave in, I think, all of this, but I have sped up the rest of the mixed media section So like there's a fair bit of this packaging that I show, and I'm pretty sure that I speed up a lot of it. Then when I move on to the next step, I slow it down a little bit, and then when I'm continuing on with that same step, I speed that up. I hope that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in a minute anyway. So I'm just going in, adding more color. I'm pretty sure that I created this layout over a number of days because, you know, life. Yeah, so this is where I'm coming back in with the green. Again, I'm just using the packaging technique. If anyone is interested in the color, it is the shimmers. It is called Elfin Magic, and the green just worked really well. I did go through my little mist sample tag thing and pick out the color that way. So I'm just going straight over the top of what I've got there, adding a bit more color. I have decided at this point that I'm going to kind of work in a visual triangle kind of with those 3 places of blue. This is the faded jeans. I do not add a ton of this. I just wanted a bit of depth of color here. And you can see I'm wiping off my packaging between each time I smush the ink pad down. I don't want to activate the ink pad while it is still on the ink pad. This background is now completely dry. I have pulled some stamps from my stash. I'm going to start with this, I think it's a 49er Market stamp. And I'm going to start with it not on a block, and I don't know, I think maybe because it was new and I hadn't used it on anything, it doesn't stamp particularly well. That's okay. I do pull out an acrylic block, which is what I'm doing now. I'm using, these are the Distress color in archival inks. So I'm pretty sure that's Faded Jeans that I'm using there. You can see I'm just stamping that, doing a crisscross, and in a second you will see, so you can see here I've got those 3 places where I'm bringing in that stamping. So up to the top left, right down the bottom, and then to the right hand side of the page a little bit. And I'm going to go back in and do exactly the same kind of thing with the grey, which is the Hickory Smoke in the archival ink. I'm using archival ink because I didn't want it to, I didn't want the colour to move or blend at all. I'm going to come in with this little stamp, it's 4 little crosses. Again, I'm using the Hickory Smoke. I'm going to come back in with the star, and I believe this is Black Soot. And I'm just going to stamp it once and stamp it off a few more times, and I'm really liking how this is coming together. I haven't done a really heavy mixed media background like this for a little while, so this was really fun to put together. I'm going to add splatters because how could it be a mixed media page of mine without splatters? Starting here with the Stormy Sky, I think it is. Again, just smush that ink pad down, add water, grab a paintbrush and splatter away. I think I come in with all the colours and do the same thing, but I think the next bit, yeah, it is sped up. So the next is the Faded Jeans. Make that a bit more liquid, add those splatters, clean that off, and then on to the next one, which might be, I think that's the Hickory Smoke. Yep, that's the Hickory Smoke. It looks quite purple on my glass mat there, but it's not. But I did find that it wasn't dark enough, so I do use, I'm going to guess that's probably, I don't know, it's the shimmers, I know that much, but I don't know which colour it is. And going back to that green, the Elfin Magic, and just splattering that as well. Dried that off with my heat tool. Now I'm going to start putting all my layers together. Some tissue paper behind my photo, just to separate it from everything a little bit. I think I'm just writing down the date somewhere. I'm going to stick that into the layers of the star, make sure that's in the right place. I did think I can just whack it in here, and then I went, hang on, just check. So that the star and the photo are stuck together. Now I'm going to make sure this is all stuck properly and add foam. Yeah, add foam behind that the photo and the star. I'm going to raise all of that up. The stars are all stuck like one on top of the other without any foam or anything. That is all stuck together, and now I'm going to work on placing my title. I think I stick it now, but could be completely wrong. I do end up overlapping the hour with the star. I'm just going to glue it down as I can. I'm going to need to add some foam in the middle there, just so it sits on the same level. Just using my ATG. Wonder how long it'll stay on there for with the ATG. Right, so this is like the bulk of my layout together now. I'm going to distress my edges here, and I think I come back and it's all stuck down. Nope, I lied. Get to watch me stick it down. So I've been on a bit of a use my stuff kick at the moment. So I pulled out my adhesive basket thing, and I'm like, I've got to use these adhesives up. So for anything that I don't need to use the fine liner for, I've been using this other glue. Because I've got all that mixed media in the background, I am using wet glue. And okay, so now that's all stuck. I have stuck the white cardstock to my frame as well, and you can see I've torn the edges and just made that a bit messy. This bear, as soon as I saw it in this collection, I was like, yes! I've always referred to Jacob as my baby bear, so I was like, yes, I'm putting the bear on the layout, and he was all excited when he saw it. He's like, there's a bear! So, yes. I'm going to use this Oh, the Places You'll Go hot air balloon. This is from the cut apart sheet in the 6x8 paper stack. I really like it there. And I'm going to use another flare. I was so excited when I got it on. Now, don't do me. If you want to distress edges, do it before you stick them down. Just a handy little tip. I did go through and distress all the edges like that. It was a bit of a mission, but got there in the end. So I am going to use this flare. It says That's My Boy. Adding in some white thread. I'm just going to use a little bit of glue to stick that in a couple of places so it doesn't shift and move and fall off. I'm going to use this for my date. First I've distressed the edges so that it fits in. I have got a little banner piece from the ephemera and a little tab piece from the ephemera up on the top right hand side of the photo. This label is from the 6x8 cut apart sheet. Making sure everything's stuck down. So you can see that piece of paper that I put over my photo. That is where I was testing the colours of Distress Oxide ink. I found a chalk black mist that I'm sprinkling. I didn't want black, I just wanted that softer kind of black. I know that sounds stupid. So I'm just adding a few splatters of that around. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it. So close-ups here. I've taken quite a few close-up still photos, so I hope that you enjoy. I am totally loving this collection. It is so fun to work with. I love the colours. I love the patterns. There's so many stars in here. It makes me happy. There's a bear. What's not to love, really? That is the mixed media. I love how these Distress Oxide inks dry on ungessoed paper. That is my favourite way to use them. I hope you enjoy the close-ups. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. I will make sure I leave the Anna's Craft Cupboard blog link in the description box below, the store link, a link directly to the Legendary collection, links to all the things for all the places, because why not? I'm going to quickly address, I hope that wherever you are safe and well. Look after yourself, look after the people you love, be kind to everyone, have a fantastic day, and remember to wash your hands and don't hoard the toilet paper. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you again soon with another share.